I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are Velocities in Music, VIMTV, here today to do a 2010 release by the artist called The Fall, who is really, Tom, do you know the guy's name?
Marky Smith.
And he just plays with a group of people. He gets a group together and plays with them, and apparently he really likes this set of people playing with him. But his newest album, it's like number 20 or something like that.
Yeah, they have a lot of albums.
Yeah, been around since the early 70s, something like that, late 70s.
Yeah.
And it's called Your Future Are Clutter, which you hear throughout the album. Now, I'm going to come out and say I'm very biased about this album. I did not like this album. I didn't like it. I liked it less and less with each listen. And I'll just jump into my thinking of this. You know, I feel like this is the polar opposite of something like Justin Bieber, which we reviewed a few episodes ago, where Justin Bieber's at this corporate pop end, and this is the anti-corporate pop end. Mm-hmm. And like, I can handle anything in here, just these two polar ends just piss me off.
It's like artistic and random for no reason. If you had a reason for it, okay, but I just don't see any justification behind any of the random crap that he's throwing in here.
Yep, every once in a while, I'll find like a bass part, a lot of good bass parts here, or kind of a cool little guitar riff or something that I like there. But the problem is that it's just repeated over and over and over again for literally, I'm not exaggerating, 5 to 7 minutes. It will just repeat the same part over and over and over again, to the point that I just hate that bass part that I originally liked. I just hate it. I'm just mad. The vocalist, which he just sounds like a drunk with a microphone most of the time, just spouting off gibberish. I don't like it. I might be completely missing the point, but the point is that it got me so angry that I completely detached from the music. I'm just totally biased against this, so I'm not very reliable music critique here because I'm not giving very objective opinions. But Tom's going to be here to save me.
Well, to talk about objective opinions, it's hard to make those because you don't, at least I don't feel like, as I said, there's any reason for any of the stuff he's putting in here. Now, some of the guitars and bass and drums are pretty cool, doing some cool things. I mean, the album starts off with a drum beat that kind of draws you in. Mm-hmm. It grooves, but then it just grooves forever. It's like getting stuck on an amusement park ride. Like it's kind of cool at first, but then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. I had some friends in Florida. They got stuck. Maybe you were a part of this. I don't know. Got stuck on the ride at the part where it's a small world after all, and they had to hear that song playing for like 40 minutes while they were stuck on that ride. Yeah, imagine that. That's what this album is like. That's what listening to this album is like. It's like you're going on a ride, and then all of a sudden, oh God. So, there are some cool artistic things here. He's got an ear for putting together this kind of collage, but I feel like what he's making the collage out of is just trash rather than anything that's worthwhile. It's just not pleasing to listen to in any way, not even, to me, not even in an interesting way. Like you can't learn stuff from this. Now I'll argue that there's some artsy music out there that is worth listening to, even if it's troubling and hard to get past some of the things that they might be doing, but in the end you get something out of it. I feel that way about this, like, except for the part that you get something out of it. I feel like once you understand what he's doing even, there's nothing to it. It's just surface level sound, noise that you can't dig anything out of.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Really
that's my biggest problem with this, and at that point I hear that stuff more than I do the actual music and chords and things that he's doing, because those are so bland anyways that they don't even override all the random production and sampling things that are happening.
And there's one thing that I really did like about this album, which was very, very, very minuscule in the overall, listening experience, but it was the last lyric on the album. It might be one of the best lyrics to end an album I've ever heard, but he just, in his drunken stupor, goes up to the microphone and says, "You don't deserve rock and roll." And I just think that's a very epic way to end an album, telling the listener they don't deserve rock and roll. I feel like I don't deserve it because I just hate this album. I can't help it. And I'm sure that there's something missing. I'll go ahead and jump to this. But if you disagree with what Tom and I are saying, especially me too, because I feel like I'm pretty emotionally biased against it, Let me know if we're missing something that you get and we don't. I want to know what it is. I want you to take a couple seconds and type us a note, just a quick little note that we can respond to, because I'd love to get your opinions on that at www.velocitiesmusic.com.
We're looking to learn from all this stuff
absolutely.
as much as we hope you are.
This is our assessment after a number of listens. I think I got 5 listens here, 3 listens. We listen to this enough to get a good grasp on it, and then we record and tell you what we think.
And that's the problem, is that on this, nothing jumped out at me.
Yep.
Nothing jumped out at me that I could latch onto and say, I like that, I want to hear more of that. Just every song, when it was over, I was glad for it to be over.
Right.
And that's a big problem.
I will pick a couple tracks. I'm just going to pick track 3, Mexico Wax Solvent, and track 4, Cowboy George. Those are the only 2 I'm going to pick.
I'm not going to pick any.
Good call, man.
I can't.
It's a rough album. I'm going to go ahead and be bold. I'm going to go 24 on this album. 24. I didn't like it.
I'm going to go 36.
36 and 24. That's Velocities Music panning an album. Yet again, tell us what you think. If you really think that we're missing something, that this deserves a better score than something that low, which is pretty dismal at best, let us know. I'd love, and Tom would love to talk to you about it. Mm-hmm. Other than that, that's kind of it for Your Future Are Clutter. This album is Clutter for me. By the Fall, 2010, killing me here, buddy. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
We are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.